Hey there, defenders of Yodaville. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Farthest Frontier 1.0. Episode 11. Rallying the Militia. Oh, Raiders. Okay. I'm gonna have my army go northwest, and then my hunters go northeast. It's my, 4 of my 6 hunters are pretty close to the northeast. I have the game paused.
Work to be done?
And I'm telling all of my hunters to quit what they're doing.
Yes?
To rally for the northeast group.
What needs doing?
If I'm gonna predict, I'm gonna guess that this raid is gonna be a bit too much for my hunters and soldiers to handle. So once all of these homesteads get built, I think it's very wise for us to start adding more troops and more defenses. So I got 3 of the hunters now, and I'm going to wait for all 6 of them. And they'll like reset when they're bored, so you have to keep like clicking them. So here's 5. And my soldiers.
As you command.
Yeah, that's a big group here.
It will be done.
Oh boy. This is gonna suck. As predicted. So Alfar is going to be able to tank real good. So what I want is Alfar draw an aggro.
As you command. It will be done.
So that Ceteris and Viola aren't getting like shot to hell. And in the other direction, my hunters need to be told to go attack because they got bored and reset. So I've got 5 of the 6. I don't know where the 6th is. Oh, here he is. So all 6 hunters are helping to defend the northeast, and then the northwest is like a little more desperate. Oh god, Ceteris is dead. Yep, Ceteris died. So you can see Alfar tanky as hell, but like it's not enough. We don't have enough troops. I did predict we were gonna not have enough troops. It's a bit too late to like try to draft anyone, so I'm probably gonna need to just use Militia. So I'm going to send a bunch of the villagers that are like hanging out to go fight. Because as it stands now, there's just too many archers and brawlers in the northeast. The northwest. The northeast, however, doesn't have a lot of troops. Like, this was a much smaller raid. So my hunters can pivot because they're already fleeing. So my hunters are going to go join my soldiers to help my soldiers out. But I think I'm going to send my soldiers to retreat all the way to the garrison. Because they're just too injured to be functionally helpful. Now, unfortunately, in this giant mass of citizens that I'm having drafted to help defend, I'm sure there's a lot of children. Because I can see that there's, like, children. I mean, there's safety in numbers, but yeah, I'm going to need more troops. So we've got hunters moving into position for it. Here we go, kids. Let's go murder some brawlers. So this group go this way, and you 3 kids just back off. Yeah, this is gonna get bloody. I'm trying to pull the kids out of the stack when I see them. Oh god. So many children. Alright.
What needs doing?
Wenlin, run! Dodge those arrows! Serpentine! This is not a position I particularly like being in, but you know. These 3 kids, go kill that thief. These 6 kids, go kill that brawler. Yep, this is, you might not like it, but this is peak city defense.
Hello there.
Alright, Frederick. Chloe, Frederick, and whoever else I grabbed. Go after that archer. Try to shut that archer down. Alright,
Yes?
Talana just died. You, run. Nope, you're dead. Alright, soldiers, definitely high up on my priority of things to recruit. Oh no, where's Ferris? Kid, run! Use your child speed to flee.
Right away.
Now there are research options.
Hello.
Andra, back up. No, Andra, run. No, basket. Oh, freaking stupid basket lady. Telling her to run. She's just like, run? With circles? All right. Simon says you're an idiot. Chloe, run. All right, so these archers are fleeing. So I mean, we won, but just at a cost. Viola and Alfir, get over there.
As you command.
So we're gonna get some vengeance here, some bloody vengeance.
What needs doing?
Yo, Forger, go away. You're hurt. Ada, you too.
Need anything?
Go away. And I'll do my very best to try to avoid raid losses like this in the future. I mean, I kind of knew that it was going to be bad. But actually, we kept our losses to a relatively low number. Relatively. So I'm adding some troops. And then, well, obviously I have to bury the dead. This laborer is just dead. I don't have a healer house. The reason I don't have a healer house is healer houses have a 25 gold per month upkeep. So it's just not a service I can afford. I don't have a lot of people dying to diseases because we have clean drinking water, worm-free food, and a lot of soap. That's mostly keeping the sick down. So the healer house is nice to have when you can afford it, but I certainly, at the moment, cannot afford it. It's warning me that I have low tools, which is really, honestly, not true. I have 36. Alright, soldiers. Go back. So now we have twice as many troops as we had before. I do have a net negative monthly gold, but I'm not worried about that because we have a bunch of homesteads queued to be built. So they will, it'll bounce back. And then just to keep the bills paid, I can move... Oh yeah, except I can move some of our gold from our trade post into the town storage. Just to keep it afloat. What can we do with their bones? Nothing. Unfortunately, raiders have like weapons and armor and stuff like that that you don't even have access to. Just the way it is. Alright, knowledge. See how it's green? It's green because we're starting to use paper. Scholars have access to paper, accelerating future research. So, what was I going to get with this? Let's get selective breeding non-grain for increased beans, greens, and vegetable crop yields. That should help out our food shortages. The other thing I was thinking about doing is changing the grow cycle a little bit so that we work the fields and then grow grain so that the grain gets lost to frost less frequently. So we'll do clover, clover, turnip, work grain, and I'll adjust the other ones like that. And that should help. I can't adjust this one right now until the season's over, but that should help our grain not die to frost. Hopefully. All right, current priority is grow the population and supply food. Pretty basic stuff. But just make sure that everything stays nice and balanced. Some of the weird late harvest here could be a result of me just having to draft a whole bunch of citizens to defend. My guess is that is true, because, you know, if you're fighting raiders with a bunch of farmers, yeah, they're not farming. Oh, there we go. Food stores, 9 months. That's looking a little bit better. These two root cellars are half full of barrels, and this one's over half. So our Cooper's doing a good job, despite the fact that, like, wood planks are just in massively high demand. And with that excess of food, happiness is pretty high, which means we should see some more birth rate and immigration helping to fill the labor roles that we are lacking. So the iron, coal, and ore look okay. Tools look really good. I'm going to set tools to anywhere between 40 and 60. That way, once we hit like 60 tools, the blacksmith turns off, which means we won't just keep using up our iron indefinitely, which I think will be helpful. We just had a bunch get born, indicating that, like, things are good, because they won't, you know, your people won't have children unless conditions are fare well. What do the farmers do in the winter? So, if you want to see what they do, if you go to professions, you can always click, like, farmer.
Work to be done?
And they're pondering their existence. That one is.
Need something?
Resting, taking a break, relaxing, seeking shelter, taking a break, pondering existence. Basically, they're not doing very much. Sometimes what they do is they will go to the markets and supply their homes with firewood and food. You could try to furlough them for them to become laborers. Like, if you go to all your farms, and the problem is there's like only 3 months where they could. And in those 3 months, they're usually supplying their houses and having children and things like that. So if you keep messing with your farmers to try to drive them to do hard labor in the winter months, you could be negatively affecting their morale. And that's not good for a whole different subset of reasons. You know what? Actually, put that paper mill person back. I just realized we don't even have a surplus of paper yet, so might as well keep them in that role.
Need anything?
another project I'm going to set up. Eventually, we're going to want a quarry, meaning we need to get to a deep stone deposit. There's one out here, but this is so close to map edge, I'm going to use the one here, which means running a road out to that quarry site. Like that. It's not a high priority. I don't really care when they get around to it, but I am going to want that eventually. What I really want is like some giant group of immigrants going, hey, can we join? That'd be awesome. Because I'm low on laborers. Yes, I know. The other advantage to this road is it will help the excavation of the salvage and 2 relics, because there will be a road to help the people get out to those zones. We're about to get another research point. They're coming a lot faster now that we've got a paper-fed academy. It's actually something I could do, is if there isn't research that is meaningful, I could reduce the amount of the people working in the academy to have a much larger labor pool, because I do have 6 people working in there, which is, you know, expensive labor-wise. Could I lower my taxes? No. That isn't a lever that you can pull. Knowledge generated. So, as far as taxes go, your taxation rates. Well, so there are policies. Let me show you the policies. I showed this last stream, but really the only things you can do is to enact policies to change things. So, like, rationing, for instance, is a policy to consume less food, but it also makes people very unhappy. Or crop yields are increased by 25%, but fertility reduction from crops is also increased. Now, in my case, my fertility cycles for most of my crops are so good that overseeding actually might not be a terrible one to enact. Production speeds are increased, but happiness goes down. So there's not a lot of, like, the opposite where happiness goes up. I don't have access to that kind of stuff. And here's one, for instance, markets generate 30% additional taxes, but town happiness is also reduced. So there isn't a way to, like, reduce taxes. There's really only a way for taxes to go up. So as a result, there really aren't any policies for me to enact to attract more people. So people attraction is based upon overall happiness more than anything else. So if we're provided entertainment, basically if I built a pub or a theater, I might have more immigration. But, you know. The other thing that I just noticed, I have all of the requirements for Tier 3 Town Hall. So trying to amass 3,000 gold and the wood planks required is probably something to push towards. Which means getting that brewery up would be great. Where am I going to put the brewery? Maybe here? It's too steep. I could put it there. I would need a... Yeah. I like this spot. Research. Things that will help food. Because right now, food is really the issue. Selective grains is locked behind tier 4. Honey and wax I definitely don't need. I don't think there's really much in the way of food that I need to unlock. The other thing I could consider is what is going to be needed for economic power monument. But I don't even think that is of consideration at the moment either. Food, I would say glass blowing is maybe the next most important for food, because canning would help me to preserve fruits and root veggies to prevent them from spoiling as much as they currently do. So my labor pool is only about a half as much as it really ought to be. And then once my labor pool balances out a little bit more, I'll spool up the brewery and spool up the cannery, or glass blowing to cannery. And I'm working on stockpiling 3,000 gold in our trade post so that when we have the wood planks, I can upgrade our town center, unlocking tier 3. One of the nicest things to tier 3 is it will allow us to upgrade our dirt roads to cobbled roads for faster movement speed, so that we spend a lot less time commuting to and from work. So I've got about half the gold we need in the trade post. The other thing you might have noticed is the net negative money that I had has been solved as a result of all the homesteads that we built. Every single house that we have in our town center over here has enough desirability to become a homestead, which is awesome. Ooh, Atka. Is there something you want to buy? I didn't realize we had that much soap, but I don't want to part with my soap because... Oh, you know what? Maybe I will. Yeah, okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy a bunch of herbs, because I know I'm almost out. Stock and transfer. And then sell the soap, which is just herbs plus tallow, to Atka. We can also sell a bunch of baskets, because I don't have a lot of foragers. Baskets are really only helpful if you have a bunch of foragers, which I don't. I think those are reasonable trades. So there's 3, 4, 5 homesteads, 6, 7 really homesteads left to be upgraded. And it's just a matter of getting more planks cut. It's a bad idea. Well, we do have some stockpiled logs, so I'm just going to hire a bunch of saw pit workers to try to, like, bull rush it. So we're 2,300 gold out of the 3,000 that we need. Looking good. Looking real good. And in the middle of the summer is generally, I would say like early spring to midsummer is when you have the least amount of food, because the harvest is usually in the fall. And our food count is pretty decent for this season, because we'll have a cabbage harvest, a wheat harvest, a bean harvest, and a turnip harvest left this year. There we go. So all the houses now, I think, are queued to be homesteads. Oh, except for this one. So there's one that's missing 2 types of food. But that would be the last shelter holdout. It reminds me of when, like, governments use eminent domain, or fail to use full eminent domain in order to buy up, for housing projects or, like, whatever, and you have, like, one random town hall, or one little, like, hamlet surrounded by, like, megaplexes. That's what the shelter is kind of like at the moment. So as far as food goes, protein very easily met because of that smokehouse setup we've got. We've got tons of smoked meat. Vegetables are always kind of like up and down. Fruit is gonna get better once we have glass making, but we might want to get a third arborist at some point. And then dairy we're not even touching because we don't have the manpower or economy to deal with that at the moment. Uh-oh. A bear just wandered in. Sending my troops out to deal with it. Good job, troops. That's literally what they're for. Wheat is for bread or drink, both. Wheat can be brewed into beer or milled into flour and then baked into bread. So it is indeed both. So we've got 15 planks worth of housing. Let's call it 20, assuming this shelter ends up with multiple food types soon. So 20 planks for the housing, and then 50 planks for the brewery. So 71 planks, and we will have all of the current construction projects done. And then once those are done, we'll be in a pretty good position to then start stockpiling for Tier 3 Town Center. Of course, 0 excavation has been done. That doesn't surprise me. My laborers are just overwhelmed. So, if my laborers are overwhelmed, is there anything I can do about that? Production management would help a little bit. Let's see. One thing that's really expensive is trailblazing. Speed for off-road. No, I'm not going to bother with that. Wagon speed would help for labor relief, being able to move more goods via wagon. I don't think there's a lot to help for laborers, though, in this research tree. So instead, I'm just going to get production management this time, production speed for buildings that use heavy tools, and then next time we'll get canning. So we can start to, once we get glass blowing for glass, we can start to use it for canning. Faster stone cutting doesn't seem wrong? No, it doesn't. At this point, like, I just need more people. I just need more immigrants, larger pop. I would even say it might be time to consider more houses, as long as the desirability is in the positive. So I'm going to build 4 more houses, trying to encourage more immigration. So I'm pretty sure we can keep feeding them. We've... Surprising, I really thought we would have more grain in our mill. I don't know where my grain went. Game says I don't have any grain stocked, but it says I got 660 of it out of this crop field. And my mill only has 125. Oh no, there it is. There it is. Kalina was holding it. There. So we have 450, we have 721 grain in the granary. Okay. I feel a little bit better about that. I was like, where the hell did the grain go? No, we're fine. In fact, we baked so much bread that our bread production is completely halted for now. Yeah, it's a bit of a gamble, but I'm gonna even build more houses on top of what I queued, because I'm pretty sure we will have no problem supplying food for them. So I'm encouraging a big population boon so that I can spool up 3 more fields, spool up canning, spool up glass blowing, you know, all of the industries that have been halted because we have almost a year's worth of food ready. So I think it's time to really grow a pop. And all the houses I queued up have a desirability of 30 plus. So I don't even need to build new decorations or anything to accommodate them. Better roads in the next tier, yes. That would be tier 3. We've got 12 laborers, so I'm just making sure there's plenty of trees for them to cut down. We still haven't started the excavation. They're just too busy. We need more people. Yeah, it does. You're right. It seems like a good time to get more people, and that's exactly why I queued up all these houses. So that come springtime, people immigrate, and we have plenty of space for them. And we have lots of industries to put them to work. In fact, the root cellar for the meat is nearly completely full, allowing us to keep spoiled meat for even longer, which is great. Or, spoiled meat. Smoked meat. We don't keep spoiled meat, I promise.
What needs doing?
What is that population that I am prioritizing to grow? So really what it is, it's not a set number. It's just enough to have laborers, a labor pool, plus the new industries that I want, which is brewery, glass blowing, cannery. Brewery will help us to do something with our honey, because we have an enormous amount of honey, and we're not turning it into a produced good which can sell. And then glass blowing and preserving will help to keep fruit from spoiling and root vegetables from spoiling. We should also see that the my wood planks should start going up a lot. All the wood planks that were needed for the homesteads and the brewery are now... Oh, well, never mind. We had the new shelters we built just became homesteads. But soon it will equalize, and we'll start stocking wood planks for the tier 3. We're getting there. Ooh, fertility 84. I think it might be time to actually pass that policy I was talking about. So before I pass the policy, I'm going to pause for just a moment. Let's calculate our net fertility. So it's a 3 plus 3, and then flax is a minus 3. So this is net neutral. This is a plus 3 minus 4. So this is a minus 1 total. And then this is a plus 1. So that's neutral plus 3. So this crop field, the crop fields for these 3 are plus 3 fertility over a course of 3 years. For the other fields, it is a plus 3 plus 1. So plus 4. So this is a plus 7. Plus 10. Minus 2, so plus 8, and then this is a minus 7, so it's a plus 1% over the course of 3 years. I think I will try to pass the policy. The wheat fields might suffer a little bit, but pass the policy of overseeding. Because the fertility of my my wheat fields is 80, 84, and 72. So I think, and we're of course still composting. So I think it might be time to try to overseed. And see if that helps with our food. All right, that's a lot of immigration. There we go. Our labor numbers are now decent. That took a while, but they are now. Awesome. So that means we should have a skyrocketing stone and wood collection. So the current priority right now is to... We have the food supply, so it is to build defenses. So as we amass stone, I'm going to start to build walls with it. Actually, forget bushes. Bushes are too low yield. So I'm going to go and get rid of bush harvesting everywhere. Because there's just not enough, it's not labor efficient. Another knowledge point. So, canning. Done. It feels a little counterproductive to sell honey right before we start brewing, but I don't need that much honey, so I'm going to sell like 120 of it. Keep 50. Thank you for tuning in to Farthest Frontier 1.0, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow settlers.